How do you deal with the naysayers in your life? Well, here are the 3 tips that I shared recently when a follower reached out and asked that exact same question. Anita wrote, "Dear Andrew, I was going through some of your interesting TED Talks on how humor can work wonders in the workplace or anywhere. I've been working as a teacher since the last 15 years, and humor is given in my profession because of children. I can see humor because that's what I like, and it has worked for me all these years. What I want to understand is what inspires you to do that for others. How do you overcome the rude rejections by people who don't get along with this attitude of yours? I'm sure there must be people who think this is all crap and a waste of time. How do you deal with them? I understand it's not possible to change them, but how do you keep yourself unaffected by such comments and still do things your way? It'd be really helpful if you can guide me here with your opinion. Thank you, Anita." Fascinating questions, and one that I think a lot of people have this potential fear of, either that people may reject what they say or that they flat out do. So let's take those questions one at a time. What inspires you to do that for others? Well, what inspires me is the change that I've seen that occurs in people when they're able to successfully use humor to achieve a specific goal. They become more confident and more capable in what they do. I've seen this firsthand in clients that I've worked with, but also in my own life. Humor took me from an introverted computer geek to a confident, sometimes charismatic keynote speaker who is still very much an introvert. Empowering people with the skill of humor is my small way of trying to make the world a better and funnier place. And so that passion, that mission is actually what helps with number 2. How do you overcome the rude rejections by people who don't get along with this attitude of yours? And it is right. There are people who don't yet understand the value of humor in the workplace. And the first place I start is trying to educate them. There are 30 benefits to using humor as an individual, backed by research, case studies, and real-world examples. And yet, people mistakenly believe that having fun is somehow antithetical to being productive. Teaching people about the research-backed benefits of humor can hopefully help them see the lighter side of life. It's also possible that they don't know how to use it appropriately. Maybe they assume using humor means that they have to be aggressive or sarcastic, and that's not the case. So I encourage them to start thinking more broadly and more positively. My goal isn't to make people funnier just so they get laughs, but rather to teach them how to strategically use humor to improve what they do. And once people understand that, they tend to be more on board. So next question. I understand it's not possible to change them, but how do you keep yourself unaffected by such comments and still do things your way? Well, despite my best efforts, there are still people who don't see the value in what I do. I mean, just take a look at some of the comments on my TEDx talk. Like you said, it's not possible to change them, but it is possible to change my attitude about them. In a sense, I feel bad for them because they're missing on an opportunity for so much more fun. I mean, we spend a third of our adult awake life. Why shouldn't that be enjoyable? I also then choose to focus on the people who are a fan of what I do, so I can serve those people more. Because every ounce of energy that I give to the people that don't like what I do is energy that I'm not using to serve the people who do. What I don't want to do, however, is let their naysaying ways stop me from using humor. And I don't want it to stop you either. Just because they want to be serious or solemn all the time doesn't mean that you have to. Like Anita, I hope this helps you deal with some of the naysayers in your life. Ultimately, it comes down to the reality that you choose every single day how you're going to do your work. And at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily impact all of those other people, but you are the one who has to live and work with you. So, how are you going to choose to do that? I would say you should have a little bit of fun. And if you have any other humor-related questions you want to answer, go ahead and leave them in the comments.